This is 10 things you didn't know about Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic is inarguably one of the most talked about players in today's NBA. Talking about a character as big as the Joker, you might think just about everything about him, and his life is out there, well known to the general public. And there are no secrets. The Serbian superstar has been trying to hide away from the media, which is constantly trying to expose him for every crumb they can find. But could there still be something about Jokic that he's managed to hide in plain sight without anyone knowing about it? See, not many can describe the feelings on the day when you get drafted into the NBA. Excitement is at its peak, your nerves are racing, expectations are the highest they have ever been, and the hope of getting selected by your desired team is everything you can think of. But Nikola's NBA draft day looked a bit different, as during the time of the draft, he was wrapped up in blankets, sleeping like a baby back home in Serbia. The man was so careless about the draft that he didn't even care to attend it, or at least wake up for the announcement. Jokic has become an NBA MVP, but in order to get there, he had to make some huge lifestyle changes. While other players hit the gym and work out as hard as they possibly can to become shredded and as strong as humanly possible, Jokic only had to make one small adjustment in order to flip the switch. And that was quitting soda, more specifically, Coke. Jokic allegedly drank 2 to 3 liters of Coca-Cola every day back in Serbia, and he said that on the plane trip to USA, he drank the last one. And look what happened after. He went straight from a less known Serbian team to the MVP stadium. And apparently, quitting soda also made him a demigod, since he's one of the players with the most durable NBA career ever, rarely actually getting injured to the point where he would have to skip games. But one time, he missed a whole week of practice and a couple of games overseas due to an inflammation in his right hand. And I know what you're thinking, but no, that wasn't the reason why. The swelling in his right hand was actually a quirky cost of signing too much autographs for fans. Talk about the cost of money and fame. Anyways, there is sadly no footage for this, but people have witnessed Nikola's true nature on Kids Day.
Why did Tomato blush? Because he saw salad dressing.
An event organized by the club where players were participating in some kind of basketball game with kids from 8 to 10 years of age, and there were like hundreds of them. Nikola enjoyed this event more than them, jumping after the ball, doing all sorts of crazy stuff, throwing a second ball on the court, and then as a highlight of the event, at one go, took off the head of the club's mascot koala, putting it on himself, and then playing that way for 3 minutes. Next up is him doing that to the Bulls mascot. I'd love to see that happen. Jokic is also very good at finding something good even in the baddest things that happen. How many MVPs have created their signature move because of an injury? Let me see. Jokic, Nikola, and Nikola Jokic. You get the point. There ain't many. While he was rehabbing his left ankle, Jokic tried not to put weight on his compromised foot while shooting during practice. So he kinda took that into the NBA game itself, ultimately developing a new unorthodox move that is tormenting defenses. People like to call it the somber shuffle. It's also not very common for an MVP to transform his body the way Jokic did, as he reportedly shed over 30 pounds when he first came to the US. As if that wasn't impressive on its own, he then slimmed down even more during the NBA stoppage. Denver Nuggets president Tim Connolly said that Jokic even sent him a picture. No shirt on, he's got abs, and no living creature has ever seen him have abs before. He's beach ready. If you've been watching Jokic play for the past few seasons, you might have noticed a move of his, where he pins the ball with one hand away from the defenders and keeps his upper body straight when making passes. These are two unique techniques that likely stem from his upbringing around water polo, one of the top sports in Serbia, his home country. It appears like that almost gives him an unfair advantage over the other players who never had a chance to play water polo before. Knowing that he played water polo as a kid, it's quite funny how good he got at basketball while playing other sports on the side. And water polo isn't even the only one. Jokic was once stuck between wanting to race horses or play basketball. In fact, as a preteen, he once quit a basketball game and left the game at halftime for a chariot horse race. He's about as passionate about horses as one can be. He also owns several of those majestic creatures back in Serbia, where he rides around in a horse-drawn buggy like a true king. For a center, Jokic is also quite good at shooting from the mid-range and from behind the three-point arc. But what's so special about his shots is that he puts a rainbow arc on his shots like no other, which often literally requires the camera to adjust. The legend says that all the cameramen are afraid of the nights when Jokic plays, since they have to catch those high balls in frame all the time. And they don't even get paid extra for it. Remember how Jokic was sleeping during the NBA draft? As little as he cared, neither did the NBA. He was such a little-known prospect that ESPN played a Taco Bell commercial while he was drafted. He became the lowest drafted player to ever win the NBA MVP award.
History was made as Nikola Jokic was officially named the most valuable player in the NBA.
He was taken only 41st overall back in 2014. Name another MVP that was drafted during a Taco Bell commercial. Or anyone else. I'll wait, cause he probably doesn't exist. But what sure does exist is Jokic's pure talent and feel for the game. Regardless the opponent he plays against, more often than not, he's the one to taco the bell.